You're getting ready for a big negotiation at work. Presentations and emails need to be sent. What words do we use in English to talk about negotiations with our colleagues? Hi, I'm Dora, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Bite Size English, your daily bite of English. In today's episode, we're looking at phrasal verbs we use to describe negotiation proceedings. If you like this episode, subscribe to our channel so you'll know when Phrasal Verbs for Business Negotiations Part 2 is released. Then you'll never miss it. Need a daily reminder of all things to improve your English? Then join us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Let's have a look at this email describing what a boss would like his employee to do before walking into negotiations. Your presentation needs to point out the benefits of buying this company. Really think through the pros and cons and hash out a purchase plan with our lawyers. Once there's a good plan, the investors will come around and support it. Then we need to iron out the details of what we want before we negotiate. If this plan isn't ready by next week, we need to hold off on the negotiations for a later time. There were 6 phrasal verbs in that email. Can you find them? Remember that phrasal verbs are multi-word verbs that have a meaning that is different from the meaning of its parts. If you can have a synonym that replaces a multi-word verb, then it's a clue you have a phrasal. The phrasal verbs were point out, think through, hash out, come around, iron out, hold off on. To point out, what synonym would we use to describe this phrasal verb? Well, the presentation that the boss is expecting is telling the investors information, especially something that they may not know. The presentation should highlight information that may be new. The presentation will point out the cost of this purchase and the real value of the company being purchased. In the next set of instructions, the boss asks the employee to think through the pros and cons of this deal. These are negotiations costing millions of dollars. So we can agree that carefully considering or thinking about the details is important. Negotiations are all about hashing out the details with other people. Hashing out is discussing things which will lead to an agreement. Before a contract is written, you hope that people have hashed out the details. With a detailed plan, the hope is that the investors will come around and agree that this is a good purchase. We hope that the investors will come around to the company's point of view and see the value of the purchase. A synonym would be to be persuaded. Successful presentations will make people come around and see the merits of your point. With every negotiation, the discussion will bring up challenges. Think of the final contract like a piece of beautiful cloth. Imperfections or wrinkles in that cloth need to be ironed out to make it perfect. So, to iron out the details means bringing differences to an end. And finally, if a clear list of wants or a plan is not ready, then holding off on the negotiations would mean delaying it is necessary. Here's a tip. First, try to remember the phrasal verbs by preposition. We have quite a few here with the preposition out, for example. Then use the phrasal verb in your next conversation to yourself or with others. Stay tuned for the next episode, Phrasal Verbs for Business Negotiations Part 2. Thanks for watching Bite Size English.